Hey folks, I'm back. It's a new day. The rain did come yesterday, so we got through the front yard. We'll finish up with the backyard garden tour and I'll see you at the end. Real quick, we're going to start at the back of the house. Just a quick view. It is a very narrow bed, but I don't want to make it any bigger because of my dog. So for now, this bed is going to remain fairly small. Okay, so we have containers that flank the edges of the house. I zoom in right there. The containers have basil, angelonia, nemesia, and verbena, and it's hard to see anything except the basil. So we'll go through the containers, I think, in another tour. Alrighty. Then I had bachelor buttons that were winter sewn. They did fantastically. They reflushed after the last garden tour, so we do have some brighter color. Let me get in on that. And this was a seed packet that was sent to me through a seed exchange. So I'm not sure of the variety. Sorry. I do have some black-eyed Susans popping up in here because, you know, black-eyed Susans do spread. A cosmos that returned from last year from seed, and a delphinium in the back. Right there. Okay, the black-eyed Susan, lovely. The finches are enjoying the seed heads, so I am going to leave them. As the flowers fade, I'll leave the seed heads for the finches. However, that is how I get more black-eyed Susans growing in other parts of the garden. I will just, edit that next year as I decide where I want the black-eyed Susans. They are really pretty when they are like in mass though. So I'll decide that next year. Next to the black-eyed Susans, I did a little bit of weeding here. I still have a little more to do, but I have more black-eyed Susans popping up, and I trimmed back the Asiatic lily, the salvia, the 69-cent plug. I planted one plug of salvia, and I will see if I can find a photo from when I planted it. Has really spread out and grown. It's impressive. And over here I have my purple coneflowers. Again, they are flopping a little bit back up, so they're coming over. I have a walkway stake holding them up, but it is a shorter one, so I think next year I need to get a taller one so they stay in the back of the flower bed because they're falling on top of the snapdragons. And then next to that, I had a stargazer lily, snapdragons, butterfly weed, and more snapdragons. Everything is leaning forward. Sorry, back in here we have another snapdragon, and this right here is an aster. Behind it we have a yellow mum. More snapdragons peeking through. Another stargazer lily that was lovely when it bloomed. I do like lilies, but they don't last very long. It's a nice shot of the sun coming up on the black-eyed Susans. Okay, now this mess here is my bee balm. And it did not reflush this year. It is an old variety of bee balm, and I think it might be time for it to go. It did come with the house. When I purchased the house 17 years ago, this plant was here. It has performed well, but it does flop every year, and it is very prone to powdery mildew. Maybe it's time for a new variety, a more mildew resistant variety of Monarda. I do like the Monarda, and the bees love it, and it is always the first thing that comes up in the spring. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. If you have any ideas, let me know. It has been a workhorse plant for me. This year, it just not so much. And I clearly have some weeding to do in here. This spot gets more water because of the hose bib. And then I have a Dark Towers penstemon. And this was transplanted from the front yard. So they were in front of the window right up against the house. And I thought it could use more sun. It sat in water for like 2 weeks waiting to be transplanted, and so it's actually doing really well for that factor. And then I've really, really enjoyed the coleus this year. One of the stems was just broken. The rain we had yesterday. Yeah, it'll grow back. I'm not worried about it, and I need to come through and top all of these. This red, I really wish I had the tags right in front of me, have all done extremely well. And down at the end here we have foxglove. The one in the back, this one has not done nearly as well as the other two. So the foxglove is reflushing. I think they'll be fine next year. They should rebloom next year and be just fine, and maybe a little bit bigger. And this is where I had my lettuce, and I think I'm going to fall plant some more lettuce. I'm just going to get a seed packet, throw it directly on the soil, and see what comes up, and I'll let you know how that goes. And here is the other container at the other end. The Angelonia in this one has done better. I think the dog didn't knock it over. This one recently fell over in the wind, and I think I'm going to take out the basil. It's all bolting now. Gotten a little unruly looking, but this is Angelonia. This is the Nemesia. I do have snapdragons. This is the Madame Butterfly Bronze. And I have more Nemesia, and the Verbena is on this side. This planter fell over twice in the wind 2 days ago, and as you can see, it tipped over and rolled. I need to get this fixed. It unsettled the soil, so I think it kind of shocked the Verbena. So I will take care of that. I wanted to get a backed up shot of my sunflowers. These are the Autumn Beauty, the taller ones. The squirrels have really enjoyed this one in particular. They come across the roof of my garage and just sit there and eat the seed head, or eat the flower heads of the sunflower. Drives me a little bananas. And they have gotten up somehow on the wall, and they've gotten into the strawberries. Sunflowers are doing extremely well. The black-eyed Susan vine is also doing really well. It's more of a ground cover. I don't think the wooden pallet fence was the best thing for them to grow on. I think I needed to help them a little more on this side. They did well on the chain link fence on the other side, so I'll show you that in just a moment. The Moulin Rouge have been fabulous to cut. I think they have a new name now. I'm not 100% sure, but when I ordered the seeds, it was Moulin Rouge. The squirrels have also climbed on this one, but despite the fact that this branch was broken and tipped sideways, it continued to produce new flowers that grew upright. So come on over. So the Moulin Rouge have done well. I could cut this one down, try to save some seeds, perhaps. There's the Autumn Beauty. They just look so happy. They're just the happiest little sunflowers. Okay. And right down the row. So this is the reverse angle. I'm on the outside of the chain link fence. This is the other black-eyed Susan vine. Again, it is creeping along the ground, but it is doing well climbing on the fence all the way over. And okay, so this is the Autumn Beauty sunflower. And I'm gonna step up here and kind of peek inside this garden. This is my clematis. I do not know the variety. I've had this for a number of years, but it was transplanted last year. It did flower this year. It is absolutely putting on new growth that I need to train, but it is growing. I'm hoping next year is the leap year that last year it slept, this year it crept, next year it will leap. The strawberries on the wall. I have enjoyed these. They're tasty. The squirrels did get up here and knocked down a couple of the containers. I didn't realize it. They were on the ground, even though the water was running on them. So I will definitely try winter sowing again next year. And I think the bees have enjoyed them. A couple of bees over here on the wall. They enjoy the morning sun on this wall. Oh, I have a lovely spider web. I don't know if you can see that. So inside here, we have our perennial sunflowers that have gotten quite tall, as you can see. And it is just a native perennial sunflower seed that I grew, winter sowing method, which I will do again this year, and I'll try to remember to record it. It was easy and pretty hands-off the majority. I mean, I checked them constantly because it was my first year doing it, but it was a lot of fun. And all I had to do was put seeds in soil in a jug, put it outside, and nothing the rest of the season until the spring when I started checking them for growth. As you can see, this is a bit of a wild mess inside here. I have all sorts of things growing. Great blue lobelia. I have switchgrass that is growing. Down here I have veronica right along the fence. I have irises that bloomed earlier. I have some weeds that I could get in there and cut. I have some daisies in there. I still have a little bit of dill really going to seed, which is fine. I will not reseed that. If it reseeds itself and comes back, that's fine. The bugs liked it. Pollinators really enjoyed it. So there is another perennial sunflower. If you guys can't tell, I really enjoy sunflowers. I just think they are the epitome of summer, and I love the yellow color. They're great through fall. Really enjoy them. The bumblebees are very active in here. Okay, so back to the side of the fence. Here's the picket fence. My variegated grass that absolutely is going to be cut way back. I'm going to dig it out and only plant a small piece back in here. In front of it I have, in front of the grass I do have a snapdragon, and here is an aster that has fallen into the pathway. This is a New York aster that has leaned all the way into the pathway. And I have another New York aster planted here that is much more upright. Right here, the strawberries on this side are looking a little better. I don't think the squirrels got after these quite as much. Back here I do have delphinium planted and some Indian grass, which is a little more, it's tall and not as thick as the switchgrass. Like the clump isn't as thick. So that'll be interesting to see how that does. This is the Indian grass. Okay, so we have Liatris that bloomed and looks like it needs to be cut back now, but that did bloom well. I do have a very old ring around it, but last year the rabbits ate it down to the ground, so hence the ring. My cosmos have fallen over. It's time to cut them back. And back here I have my hollyhocks blooming. I have white and pink, and they are just very pretty, very soft. I like hollyhocks in kind of a cottagey garden. They're the perfect flower for that kind of a setting. Larkspur that has fallen over, and there is my whirling butterflies, coreopsis, and some grass for sure. There's just weedy grass growing in here. And here's the spurge with the snapdragons in front of it. Again, kind of leaning into the path. It's not too bad. I do have pathway stakes, so the snapdragon's not too bad. Slowly turn here. So there's the Veronica back in there. The switchgrass, let me zoom out. The great blue lobelia. The Monarda. More lobelia. This one did extremely well. Let's see if I can turn, and you can see the dill right here with seed heads formed. More switchgrass. Another Monarda. And back here, I have zinnias growing. I just put seeds down. I drew a line in the mulch and I threw seeds down. So there is a zinnia that's still a little wobbly, but I will be cutting that one soon. A white one that's coming, a white one that's probably just needs to be cut. It's past its prime. More Nicotiana. More zinnia. Look at those. I did plant some ornamental poppies, perennial ornamental poppies that haven't done anything. I have a lavender plant right here. Let me back that up. The lavender. And this is Snow on the Mountain euphorbia that I popped in the ground forever ago. And that's as tall as it's gotten. So I may have more to cut in flower arrangements, you know, before the end of the season. So that would be fun. I do have some fescue down there. I'm sorry. I feel like this garden tour is going on a little longer than I intended. Okay. Oh, a red zinnia that I need to cut and let this plant rejuvenate. Back here, that pink flower is a showy tick trefoil, again a native to this area, purchased at 69-cent plant sale at Mishler's in the spring, and it is about 3 feet tall, that top flower. All right, and a Moulin Rouge sunflower. All right, folks, that concludes our garden tour for the end of August. I'm sorry, it started the day at 63 degrees, 81% humidity, and I am dripping. The breeze is lovely. It's a gorgeous day here, but this humidity, whew. Okay. I do plan to come back through with a container garden tour. I think I have, 16 containers or something like that. So I'll bring you along for that. And I have a few fall projects that I'm working on that I will include you in. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any ideas of things I should plant in place of the Monarda or on the side of the house, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.